Welcome back. So even though it's about 4:12 in the morning, I'm going to go ahead and do some NAS work, with just some quick little updates. May or may not notice it's a little bit quieter in here because I lowered the fan speed by 1 notch on this system. And I'm really glad I did that because not only in its current setup is it really quiet, but the CPU fan also does not run, and I'd rather not have the CPU fan run because the CPU fan is very noisy on that system. Also, back here, you may or may not have seen that in the video already, I replaced, actually this machine right here, with my old Pentium D rig. It used to be my main rig way back in the day, but I'm probably going to be replacing that again relatively shortly because that system's got a lot more problems than I remember it really having, and recently it lost one of its RAM slots. I don't know why. I went to go put it in there and then one of the RAM slots went bad. It doesn't matter what module I put in it, the system doesn't post with both slots occupied, so we'll have to figure that one out. But anyway, the system we're going to be taking a look at is right here. This is my third NAS, NAS 3. It stores backups. So let me get that thing out of there and we'll go ahead and have a look at it. Okay. Shutdown. Are you sure you want to shut down the server? Yes. Probably hear it. Over there. Let's see if we can get over to it. Oh, system is off. You might have been able to see the fan stop, so. Alright. Let's go ahead and have a look. And before I look at the system, I am going to say that when we get to the software portion, that is installing the operating system and all that, I will be switching over to this camcorder. And the reason why is because the camera I'm using right now, some of you might remember it, the Samsung VC-E805N, does not do very well recording computer monitors, and I keep forgetting this and using it to record computer monitors, and then people complain in the comment section about how I can't see anything in the video, this video is crap. So, in order to mitigate that problem, I will be changing over to this camera, and hopefully that will allow you to see everything. Well, here it is in all its glory. Unfortunately, I have a little bit more work to do. Because, look at that lovely fan. Wow. Actually, you can't really see it too well right now, but if I go get a light, it shouldn't take too long. Turn the light on. Yeah, you can see it's quite dirty in there, so I'm going to have to clean that out. That shouldn't be too difficult. I can probably remove this fan module, or at least remove the front face plate, remove the fan module. I'm going to remove the front anyway in order to get the drive out. So I'm going to get a tripod, and we'll go ahead and have a look at this. Okay, I do have to apologize beforehand for any shoddy focus, but there's not much I can do. This is as good as it's going to get. It just occurred to me, I forgot to tell you what it really was. This is the system that I got from Ross, ACB, however long ago it was. I don't actually remember. I think it's been at least a year as of the making and the recording of this video. It's an HP DX5150 with the Athlon 64 X2 3800 Plus CPU, clocked at 2 GHz because, if you remember, AMD systems of the time, the speed, the 3800, actually refers to equivalent Intel speed, I believe is what they call it. So a 3800 plus, even though it's a 2 GHz CPU, would be considered roughly equivalent to a 3.8 gigahertz Pentium 4. Okay, so we got a little bit better focus there. Pull this front panel off. Hopefully do a little breaking it. Because the front panel is going to have to come off anyway, so I can actually go ahead and lift this up. And I'm going to flip it around here so you can actually see what I'm doing. The hard drive is located right there. You can see it. It's right there. Yeah, I can't get any better focus on it. That's a Seagate. Would have to be serial ATA in this system. You don't really get a choice. But it is what? Barracuda 500 gigabytes advanced format. So nothing particularly fancy. That is way out of focus. I really can't get any better than that. Alright, so yeah, I gotta apologize. I'm not actually sure how this fan comes out. It's got a fan in it. It's got a grill there. But I'm not really sure how one would go about removing it from the case. I guess it's going to just stay like that until the next time I go to replace it. I think it's got 4 gigs of RAM installed in it. What I'm going to do is remove the ribbon cable from up here on the optical drive. This camera is actually in the way. It's kind of a little big. And so now with that removed, it should be a lot easier to access this hard drive. Gotta come around here, remove all the cables from it. It's really hot, because it's a Seagate drive. They all pretty much ran really hot. Didn't really matter what it was. Performance drive or not, it ran hot. It's very easy to remove drives in this system though. This drive actually, this 500 gigabyte drive, actually came to me by way of a scrap system. Picked it out of I think it was a DC like 7800 or something, small form factor machine. Unfortunately, this uses these crappy Torx head screws. So I wanted to get my Torx driver out and remove these screws. I'm going to do that off camera. I don't get the new drive. I'll put the screws in the new drive. You don't need to really see any of that. Always gotta love crappy Torx head screws. Need to get some more Torx drivers, but here's the new drive. Seagate SSHD. You can see it says bad blocks on it, but it also says tested OK. That was what I put on there, 0 reallocations. I'm going to give it another quick test, just to make sure I'm not wasting my time or anything like that, but I see no reason to believe that my HDAT2 test was invalid, because I do remember letting it go overnight to run a scan, and it never actually found anything, so I don't know where the bad blocks came from. Perhaps a file system issue or some other issue, but whatever the case may be, it is now cabled up. It was fairly easy. Very easy to change drives in this system, so I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get that fan out and investigate it. But from here, I'm going to switch over to the other camera, so that will be that. So I'll be back in just a second, thanks to the magic of video editing. Well, okay, it's not so much the magic of video editing as it is the magic of videotape, but we are back. I will admit, the fan on this thing's got me a little puzzled. I think you gotta remove all the screws. So, I'll do that later. Or maybe later on, I'll just vacuum it. But, we're ready to go here, theoretically. Do need to find my NAS CD. I don't know where it would have happened to go. But I know that I made it. So unless it's that disc that's sitting underneath all that mess, it should be around here somewhere. and relatively easy to find. Oh yeah, this one actually right here. So I'll assume that it's this one. Now what I also did is I have the configuration file that I backed up from it on this floppy. So I'll go ahead and I won't insert it all the way because I don't know if it's going to try and boot to it. But what I will do is I will plug the system in, and it's going to turn on immediately as soon as I plug it in because that's how it's configured. Well, after I fix the prong on the cord. Just like that. Eject the optical drive. Put it in correctly. The system does take a while to post. That is normal. You can see it come up there. Alright, we'll wait for it to boot. I was going to check the hard drive on this thing. Oh, whatever. Alright, so now it's booting. We'll have the floppy in there. Wow, that CD is loud. Okay. I'm assuming you can read it. Loud and slow. Forgot this thing had an actual CD-ROM drive in it. I was wondering where that went. Well, it's a CD-RW, but if I could take that out and put that into something else and take a CD-ROM. Hoping, I don't know if this config thing is going to even work because I don't know if it's in the right format for the system to read. That's really slow off the CD. You could actually do this by just simply running off of the CD and using the floppy to store the configuration. That is a valid way to use NAS for free, or I'm sorry, Sigma NAS. Old habits die hard. So, see just how slow it is. Wow. It's taken up like half my video. I was prepared to show you the whole boot process, but I guess I'm not going to be doing that because it's going to take forever. Hoping that it's going to be a little bit faster. Then the default, that would be normal mode. And this is a little faster. It's reading the floppy. It is actually reading the floppy. Now it should be trying to, let's try to mount root. Is it working? There we go. X64 live CD. No, that's really slow. It is faster booting up off of the hard drive. I know that, or at least it used to be. I don't know if it is now. Let's use the hard drive, ST1000DX001. That's what it is. SATA 3. Really? The system supports SATA 3? That's amazing. I just knocked a battery over. Oops. What if this floppy drive actually works? Doesn't sound like it works. Maybe that wasn't such a good idea. No XML configuration file found. I think that floppy drive is no good. That is terrible. Well, it's writing something to it. This keeps erroring out. And I'm going to eject that floppy drive. Oh, the floppy's stuck. There we go. So it's probably going to be spewing errors all over the place. Floppy looks okay. So, I don't know what the deal was. But, yeah, it's not manageable. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to do something very simple, and that is to go to 9, install embedded GPT. It's not EFI, I know that. So, only get one option. Might be a little faster if you're going from USB, but okay. OS minimum is 2048, recommended is 2048. So 2048. Swap partition. Maybe I'll make that 2048 megabytes because I know that it's got 2 gigabytes of RAM, so I'll make it 2 gigs. Putting all. Might actually take forever because I think it's going to do a full format. Well, maybe not. So now it's going to install. This might also take forever. I hope not. I'd like to get this done fairly soon. Can get this thing off my bed and go work on some other projects before I go to bed tonight. I got some other things to do. Can't believe it's already 5 in the morning. Time passes by really quickly. There we go. And we are installing. Which is really fast. Look at that. It's already done. Okay, to use the data partition, add disks, ADA0, partition 4, GPT, UFS, so I better remember that. Of course, that's the same way the other thing was set up anyway, so it's not really going to make that much of a difference. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to load the configuration file. So, I can go ahead and exit, I can reboot. Do that. Give us uptime. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to, I don't know if it's going to eject, it probably won't eject the CD for me automatically. No. I'll just do it manually. Like I said, the system takes a while to post. It's quite unnerving actually if you're not expecting it. Thought that floppy drive worked. I guess it doesn't. That or my floppy's bad. This is definitely faster. Wow. Just to save myself a little bit of time here. Go ahead and boot it that way. Might have to get a different floppy drive and put that in there. Of course, I don't have really a whole lot of spare floppy drives, so probably pull one out of that HP D530. It's not going to miss it anytime soon. Yeah, that's much faster. Now, get that. I gotta configure my network interface, well, my IP address. Do not use DHCP. No. Alright. So, there we go. Initialize the interface. And that's going to conclude this video. Stay tuned for part 2, when we look into the actual software configuration. So there we go. IP address has been sent. That is done. Everything there is working. So, like I said, stay tuned for part 2, when we go ahead and have a look at the software configuration. Thank you for watching. If you have any comments, feel free to leave them down below. And this is CP666 signing off, and I hope to see you next time. Till then.